Burrow through the coke and lime, flushed out by flesh rats and bloodhounds. Like, I usually eat healthy meat, and I did buy, a kind gentleman give me, some money. I don't beg, I don't fucking do that, but this guy wanted to help me. God bless him. Uh, and so I bought some fucking mackerel and tuna, but then, like, I also want to be naughty boy. Like, I bought a fucking pack of eclairs and a bottle of coke and lime. So, if you're going to do that, like, do it, but do something fucking productive as well. Like, so this is the example here. I'm going to go and, like, train for a bit. Like, I've just had the fucking eclairs. I'll have the coke. Using the Picasso method here, we'll have dessert first. Like, fuck about first and then do the art. But use, like, there's different fucking ways of doing things. Like, you can actually have the reward before you do the thing. Because if you do that, like, let's say you want to motivate yourself by giving yourself a cig after you work out or something, you smoke, like, wow, like, ooh, we put the work in. You could have the cig before and have that as the reward, but say, I'm having this now, and I'm going to say, right, I'm going to do it because I've had it. Like, you know what I mean? And then when you actually do the work, the reward is the work itself. Otherwise, why would you be doing it? Because if you want to train a craft, like, if you want to reward yourself with some sort of gratification actually after the actual action of doing something, the gratifications are the cherry on top. The actual reward is the growth and the presence of what you were doing. So if you're somebody who goes to, like, the gym and, like, we're putting in the grind here, or, like, you go jogging and you don't even fucking enjoy it, here's a little tip for you. If you're jogging, why don't you speed up and start, like, fucking hopping about a bit, do a little spin, like, and then jump on a wall, start running on there. Like, that next minute you're thinking, wow, like, I might do some parkour. Or, like, if you're sick of doing fucking lat pull downs, like, why don't you just go out and start using your body in, like, mad ways? Like, there's loads of forms of exercise that, like, and, some of you might be thinking, like, well, I already know that. Well, you don't need to hear it, but some people do. Just fucking, like, your body is the amount of stuff that you can do. I'm babbling here a bit, but a lot of, like, farmers and shit have said, like, these gym going dudes, like, if you give them a fucking spade, they can't even do it that well. And yeah, they haven't actually got the muscle memory or anything like that, but we're talking functional strength here. A lot of people are training to look good, right? But if you're actually fucking strong and capable, you're going to look good. If anything, in my opinion, if you've got a versatile frame and you're actually, like, fucking capable of doing loads of different shit, you're gonna look better than the people that are like, my biceps need to be, like, a bit bigger. No, like, the chest, like, you need to, and all that. But everybody wants to look good, and anybody who tells you they don't want to look good is fucking bullshitting, to be honest, because there's a reason that some, like, Jordan Peterson said, I always quote him because I have a lot of respect for a lot of the ideas that he said. He said, beauty is the proper resting place for an enlightened consciousness, but that also applies to the vessel of the consciousness. So, like Socrates, don't get the wrong idea here. I don't fucking read philosophy or anything, but I let things come to me. I find that to be a better way of learning because I don't want to sit there and read a book. I'm too fucking lazy to do that. Like, and also I don't want to be constantly regurgitating. Like, I will quote what people have said and I will credit them, but I don't want to be constantly regurgitating what other people's ideas. I want some ideas of my fucking own, because otherwise you're going to end up like that cunt off in the pub off like Goodwill Hunting, aren't you? You know, like, at least I'll be original. Like, all that. So Socrates said, like, you know, it's one thing being Mr. Ideological Man and like having all this shit to say, but if you haven't actually enjoyed the physical capability of your vessel, then you're missing out. So, you know, we're in a third dimensional reality here. You need to make your body, and I look like it's up to you, but I'd say if you want to get the most out of what this existence has to offer, you need to be physically capable. And as well, like, let's say you're not motivated by that idea. What if shit hits the fan and you need to be able to do something like fucking climb up a massive mountain, or like swim for your life, or fucking defend, fight tooth and nail, and somehow, like, you know, if you've like prepared yourself, then you might just save your own and the other people you love's lives if you've actually fucking like prepared yourself for that kind of thing. You know, when you don't want to like, you don't want to be ill prepared for when the shit hits the fan. But I'm not saying that you should do things out of a sense of fear of things going wrong. No, you should do it because it's fucking fun to have skill. You know, you can't have fun without skill. You think that this consumerist nonsense that's gone on in reality, like, it has us fucking looking at phone screens and eating shit and, like, you know, doing drugs and fucking talking about nonsense. Real fun is learning and like improving and fucking becoming like competent and skilled at whatever it is you want to do. And if you're not doing that, you know, when you see somebody that is skillful, a lot of these people, like, you know, people get jealous, and but like, that isn't the fucking dude, that isn't the guy or girl's fault who's actually put the effort in. Like, you know what, you're jealous, so it's my fault. No, why don't you go and do something then, so you actually have some self-respect, and you don't have to be jealous when somebody comes over with a skill. You know, because it happens a lot that, like, some people don't feel like that somebody's taking their thunder if they show up with like a fucking some sort of ability. Like, you know, why don't you just appreciate it if that's you? You know what I mean? Wow, like, well, can you teach me something? Like, you know what I mean? Um, and if that isn't you, and I imagine it isn't, if you're still watching this, then sure, like, there's something surely that you can take from what I'm saying. It's not like don't get the wrong idea here. I'm not necessarily like saying this to you. But really, what I like to do here is just empty my thoughts into the camera with also the motive of, like, you know, if I can say something that offers something to you, then I can be quite happy about that. And hopefully it'll start a chain reaction of something in your life, because other people have done things for me, and, you know, it started some sort of ripple, and I think, like, you know, I want to do that for other people as well. Because I remember, I might have talked about this before, right, and this is a simple one. I was having a pretty bad day, and, you know, I'm always pretty fucking, I don't really care. Like, the money will come in time. Um, And then, you know, I wanted to buy like a couple of tins of tuna and some other shit. And, like, you know, in Lidl, like, they never have the fucking prices right on the thing. Like, it's always like you can't find like the right label or whatever. And this dude, like, I didn't have enough at the till, and this dude offered to pay for it. I said, you don't need to do that. Like, but I'll just put it back. And then I thought, like, no. I said, like, you want to do it, don't you? And he said, yeah. So I let him pay for it. And after that, like I just felt a lot better. Like I thought, like me, me enthusiasm and like faith in general fucking consciousness has been like reinvigorated by somebody just like doing me a favor. So whether like you do something like that to gratify like your own sense of like, oh, I'm like doing a good thing here, like if you do it, it might actually have a really good effect on somebody's life. Not necessarily just that moment, but the chain of moments that come from that moment. I could express that a bit better, but you get what I'm saying? And then if you knew that, then you might realize that it's not actually the most valuable thing is not sucking your own dick about it, but it's actually having the good effect. But you cannot deny that there is that part of yourself that just wants to feel good about doing good things. And unfortunately, some people have that at the core of their motivation, but have this delusional sense that they're doing it out of a sense of like genuine goodwill. And those people are up for a rude awakening. You know what I mean? So yeah, this has gone on long enough. Yeah. Thanks for watching.